Christian Jag One Soccer. Jesse, first question is just, can you put into words tonight what you've just witnessed with your team?
Yeah, I think, you know, I knew they were going to play well. They've trained really well this week. Their confidence has grown a ton through our experiences together. And look, we could have made life so much easier on ourselves by finding a way to finish a playoff, but we knew Argentina scored at the beginning of the second half, and then we knew that the key was not to give anything away, and then we were through. So, you know, I tried to encourage them to stay stable, to stay balanced, to search and probe for the goal, but to do it in a way where we never exposed ourselves. And for the most part, I thought we did that pretty well.
Coach, please, the headphone.
Yeah.
Buenas noches, Julio Ibáñez de TUDN México. Ayer le preguntaba si le gustaría un cruce con alguien de CONMEBOL o quizá con México que pudiera cruzarse en el siguiente turno de esta Copa América, y qué significa para Canadá, que hoy ha sorprendido a muchos países de la CONMEBOL con su rendimiento.
Yeah, look, when I took the job, I knew the group. And I knew that the task at hand was going to be very difficult. So, and then I look at all our matches, and we've played 5 matches, 10 halves, and we've had clean sheets in 8 of the 10 halves. So, and when I took the team, there was a lot of talk about that there was defensive frailties with the team, and no one was really sure about how the team would be able to defend moving forward. So it's not just the goalkeeper and the defenders. The entire team has been tactically very organized and very disciplined, and it's meant that we're very difficult to play against. We've looked athletic and strong in every match, and that's what's enabled us to move on in the group. Now, looking forward, we are not satisfied. The group in there is not satisfied. They want to keep going. They want to push this thing, and they know that no matter who our next opponent is, if it's Venezuela, if it's Ecuador, if it's Mexico, that it will be a difficult match, but they believe in themselves, and I think they've grown a ton in the last month, and we're excited for this next challenge.
Meeker Guerrier from RDS. First off, do you remember any French from your time in Montreal?
Oui.
Bon, je peux vous poser une question en français. À quel point ce résultat est important dans l'histoire du football canadien?
Yeah, possible, très important pour football in Canada, mais pour nous, très important pour mentalité et belief. What is belief? Croix. Yeah, our croix now is good, is strong, and the group is strong together. So we're excited again for the next challenge. Merci beaucoup.
Hi, Jesse. Alex Kirkland, ESPN. Congratulations on going through. Can you talk a bit about your emotions, having taken this team into a Copa for the first time, going up against countries with a big history and tradition in this tournament, going toe-to-toe with them, going through? Anything is possible now, and doing it here in the US as well. Yeah. for you?
Well, I mean, look, that's one of the things is we haven't played at home yet. We won't play at home for a while yet. So we're having to dig in. We're having to play a lot of matches on the road. But I'm just challenging them to grow and get better and adapt to what I want them to become, challenging them to be more savvy professionals, more savvy players, more mature players, challenging them to understand the tactics and not just the mentality of what a real team is, but how it fits into a tactical model and system. And I've been incredibly impressed with them, and I've said that from the beginning. From the first training session that I had with them, I knew that we were going to have some fun together. So I'm enjoying being their coach. I'm very proud of this accomplishment. But again, we're not satisfied. We're not satisfied. We're looking forward, and we're going to go after the game on Friday as well.
Hi, Coach. Gustavo Chacon, Lemon City Live in Florida. You have a locker room that's filled with players that play on the biggest stages, you know, like Alphonso Davies and Jonathan David, and other guys that play on somewhat smaller stages. Can you talk about the locker room dynamic and maybe somebody who's stepped up to leadership that maybe surprised you?
Well, I spoke with all the leaders in the team when I first got the job, and I said to them, you know, we want to make sure that the team unity is really strong, and it's not like a European-based group and then an MLS-based group. And they promised me that it wasn't like that. And I've seen that. They're truly together, and there's no player in the team that thinks they're above anyone else, and they are really committed to the process of what it means to play for the Canadian national team, and they're really committed to doing whatever it takes to really become the team we want to be for 2026. In the now, they've been totally unified. Even when players don't play, they say, "Don't worry, coach, I'm ready. I'm ready for whatever it takes." And it's nice to coach a group like that. It's nice to coach a group that you know are committed even when it's difficult, and they'll do whatever it takes for each other. Now, we need a little bit more of an edge. I need them to be mad at me sometimes when they don't play. I need them to be a little bit more angry with the coach on certain decisions, but we'll get there. And then once we do get there, I'll be saying to him, no, go back to everyone being happy. But this is part of the maturation. Really, it's part of the maturation is like the demand and expectation that we have for each other on what this is going to really require. But in the meantime, we're making big strides forward. Yep.
Hi, Coach. Karim Ayubi for Hispanic Sports Media. Congratulations for qualifying for the next round. Probably your next team you're going to face is going to be Venezuela. What have you seen about them, and what can you expect about Venezuela? Thank you.
Yeah, I've coached some Venezuelan players, so I know that they're hard players. They're competitive players. They like physical challenges. They will do everything they can to win to gain an edge against any opponent. So I think if it does wind up being Venezuela, it will be another fight. But our team has benefited from these experiences of playing Argentina, Peru, and Chile, and they've had to grow up. They've had to and you look. I mean, of course, it helps the game in both games that we get red cards, but I think we've kept our discipline while we've been hard, while we've competed, while we've gone after the game, you know, while we've committed some fouls, we've never crossed the line. And I think that's a key for us, and that discipline will be a key moving forward.
Hi, Melanie Anzide with The Athletic. You just spoke about not playing home for a long time, but also it felt like you were playing in Chile today with the crowd. So I'm curious, how does that, as a coach, as a team, how do you use that as fuel maybe to potentially, you know, play in this game?
Well, I don't think of it as fuel as much as it requires a level of concentration and stability. Right. And I said to them, like, the fans are going to get into the match, and Chile's going to find some big momentum at certain moments. And whether it's set pieces or chances that they're creating, we needed to stay strong, stay stable, believe that we were going to be okay, and manage the situation. And I think look, every game has been an away game for us in this tournament. So don't underestimate how difficult it is to perform well in those situations, to not give away goals. Like, incredible, really, in that sense, and a really positive sign for where we're moving.
Jesse, you just answered my last question, so I'll ask you about your team tonight. In effect, you left a player from Inter Milan and Marseille on your bench and played a couple of MLS players. What does that say about the strength and of depth that you've got now, and how many players you're starting to really trust during this process?
Yeah, my goal is to build 26 players for 2026, right? And to make sure that we're developing not just the starting 11, but all the players within the system. You know, you're right. Ishmael and Tejan are two of the most talented players in our group, and are certainly cornerstones for how we're going to build. And we're going to count on them. And, you know, in the future, like, we're going to need them, and they know that. You know, they're clear on that, and they both know that they can play better. And I've been encouraging them, but also challenging them to understand tactically how to be a little bit clear as to what the demands are and what we expect from them. But they're eager to try to improve, and they're eager to establish themselves in the group. So I thought Tejan, when he came on tonight, really made a difference in the game. He was aggressive. He went after the defenders. He could have had a goal. He could have had an assist. Like, I thought this was a really good shift for him. And then, you know, I just felt that with Steph and with Oso, that we were so strong in the middle, and I thought maybe about putting Ishmael a little bit higher up the pitch, and maybe he could help us make a play, but we were stable. So I decided not to play Ishmael, but he's going to be a big part of the future.
Sorry, just one more follow-up. You mentioned that you're not satisfied, but when you put your head on your pillow tonight, could you admit that maybe that this is beyond your dream when you first taken over, the way that you went at them against the French and drew 0-0, the way that you competed against the world champions and then now have come through 2 South American tests to get through the group? Is this beyond even your own expectations when you took the job? Is that fair?
I thought we would get out of the group. I really did. And I knew it was going to be a big challenge. And mostly I was trying to prepare the team to understand the savviness and intelligence and strength of what South American teams are, right? And we're still young and a little naive, and we had to quickly, I've been using the term grow up. We've had to quickly grow up with our young group and understand what high-level football is and certainly what South American edge and power and competitive will is like. And to be fair, our center backs held up. They won a lot of duels. They weren't surprised by situations. Our midfield looked confident on the ball. Our attacking players were aggressive and playing with speed and power. If we're a little bit sharper in some moments, we can score some more goals, but I'm certain that will come. And we've grown, not just from a football perspective, but maturity perspective. And that's gonna mean a lot to us, still moving forward in the next weeks, but also I think in our maturation process to 2026.